talk a lot about your family, but I say the only reason I talk that way is I can tell you I know how to walk in your shoes. Not because I want to tell you what is happening with me, but it's like if I didn't walk the walk, how dare I tell you what to do, right?
Right.
So, like what I'm seeing in you is, what is it exact date you use? August?
Day I left.
Day you lost the ability to hold your kids together.
Oh, October 10th, 2014.
So it's October, November, October 2014, October 2015, October 2016, October
Three
2017, which
years.
is 4 years, right?
3 years.
Three, okay,
3 years.
because I count from day one. So I didn't know that. So it's 3 years.
Yeah.
But something happened significant, you said in 2016. Physically, you lost them? Like what exactly?
I lost him in October 2014, and then I left my husband August 4th of 2016, and that's when I was able to turn everything around.
I see. So it took you processing 2 years to understand what you lost, now to get back, and what your priorities
Well, I
are.
knew what I lost, and I knew I wanted them back. But when you're in a bad relationship, it's very hard to get out, especially when you don't know when you're gonna go. You don't know where you're gonna go. You can't use the phone to call anybody or to call SafeLink or anything because your phone calls are being monitored. You make any phone call that's out of the ordinary, he's gonna check in on that. So I can't just do that, and I don't
So
have any
you
friends.
had no plan, but you know your priority.
I knew my priorities, and I was trying.
But you didn't have a plan because you didn't have resources.
Right, I didn't have resources.
So the reason I'm bringing it up is like kind of similar, right? Like I knew I have a challenge because we're coming from a challenge of addictive family, and but I didn't know how it's going to play out. But because of my Indian heritage, I decided to get involved. So I was way ahead of addiction. I knew I was going to face this challenge when my kids were older. So when we got married, which was 20 years ago, I was anticipating this problem now.
Right.
So it's kind of like what you went through in 3 years. I have been going through for 20 years, but I had the answer way ahead, like how you said, the resources you didn't have. And because I always engage in a way that knowledge is my priority, so I actually got involved with the resources first, even before the problem happened.
Right.
That doesn't mean you did it wrong or right, but the way I'm sharing it is that's the whole point for me to be in recovery coaching.
Right.
So when I got involved, when the problem happened, I could identify them quicker.
Uh-huh.
So, but still the problem is not done. Still the problem is not done because addiction is only one piece of the problem. But the controlling, the manipulation, the non able to trust issue still exists. So interestingly, I'm just going to say we went bankrupt here, right?
Right.
I go to the bank and I withdraw money, borrow money from the bank, and he says, "Can I put it in your personal account?" And see, for me, I don't put two and two together. The personal account is our joint account, which is controlled exclusively from my husband, and I cannot have access to that cash. And then they deposited it. It was deposited 2 weeks ago because I cannot pay mortgage month beginning. I have kicked off so many bills I haven't paid. Many of my bills is held back. And then two of my credit card, which I hold together, we charge for things I don't even buy, like boots and stuff. So I stop one credit card. Other credit card is music album. So my youngest one has a tendency to have impulse control issues. So he'll buy it in iTunes. So I suspected him first. So when I asked him, he promised me he'll never do it again. And so he it's not more like he will use it first and then he only after I identify he'll pay it back.
Right.
So then when I identified it was $9. That's all I saw. Oh, actually he took $20 in the box. When I asked him, he said, I used it for buying pizza, mom. I said, but only $10 you're allowed, $10 for the other kid. I said, where is the receipt? He says, oh mom, I threw it the receipt. I said, okay, show me the box. What did you buy? This is Domino. So we go to the garage. That's when he says, mom, I used it. And so I said, from now on, I said, the only thing I look from you is ability for me to trust you. I said, it's not about the money, it's about the behavior. I said, I can give you the world, but if you're not honest, how can I give you the world, right?
Right.
So then I see a Spotify music bill that I get from Bank of America for $9.99 per month, $9.99. And then he gets very, very angry that I accused him, which is true. He didn't use it, but because he's my number one,
Right.
so like I was saying, oh my God, so my husband gets on my case and starts attacking me, that I am attacking him. And I'm telling him, English is not my regular language. The words I use might mean accusing. But tell me in your language, how would you tell that because of his past history, I would like to know first from him, do I report this to the credit card company or deal with it as a family issue? That's all I'm looking for, right?
Right.
But he cannot calm down in time, my husband. So he steps back. He throws my credit card statement at me and he walks away. Then my son says, no, mom, I didn't use it. He's a little bit like, understanding at that point because my husband is like so caught up with his emotions. Then when he left, I still called the credit card company. They said these charges have been going on for 4 months. August, September, October, November. And see here, I'm so behind in my bills. I don't even pay attention to what I owe people.
Right.
So then I told them, I said, this charges were not mine, my kids are saying. So I canceled it and I said, give me another card. But the interesting part is both card is in the same purse. So I'm like saying somebody from my family is doing it, right? There is no coincidence. I don't believe in coincidence.
Right.
I have to unfathom. So then my husband calls me 2 hours later, honey, it's a big money deposited into my account. And this happens like after 10 days. Remember, I deposited 10 days ago. I wanted to know whether it was a present or it is something. This is after this fight, he decides to tell me now. That's when I shocked that the account money went to his account. Now I have no access to that funds. So now I need to ask him to pay my bills. Is it cruel? So I'm like saying, oh my God. Like, it's like how God plays you, right? So then finally it occurs to me the main troublemaker is my eldest one. I call him. I said, hey, did you use my card to purchase music? Because he makes music. Remember I showed you?
Right. Right.
He says, I might have by mistake done, mom. I'll pay you back. And he has no qualms. Oh, by the way, since you called me, come and drop off some snacks for me in my college. So I cannot process that fast. So I said, okay. I immediately agreed to give him because he wants pizza roll and stuff to be dropped off. Then I am like, saying okay. And then that's when it hits me. Oh my God, my husband is not accountable that he knew the money came into his account 10 days ago, decides not to tell anything. My youngest one, I'm bringing up a problem, and instead of supporting me, is taking the other side. And now that he know I have a problem, comes clean with the other part. And my eldest one blatantly has no qualms about not even saying sorry. So last night I brought him pizza rolls and some hot pockets and stuff. I waited in the parking lot for almost like 45 minutes because he decides not to show up. And so he says, can you leave it in the front office? No, I said, I'm going to take it back. So then he finally shows up. I drop it off with him and I said, can I have a hug? He doesn't even put out his hand. He just stands rigid. And I hugged him on the way back. My heart crashed. My heart crashed because I'm saying, who am I to these people? They think I'm their family. And my husband controls my finance when I'm in crisis, and he has opinion. How dare I not take care of myself and I need to get another job? And my kids blatantly are behaving in a way that doesn't make sense to me. And I was overwhelmed. I was saying, oh my God, what is going on? And I said, okay, let me not spiral down. I said, you know what, I really need to work on this. So one thing I'm thinking with my eldest one is I need to have another strategy. This is not even about him using or not using. His problem is alcohol
Oh, okay.
because he does party, like, kids, But he was told because of the new college, 6 months he cannot drink. But it worries me when she drinks because he has no driving privileges now. And when he gets it in Christmas time, how I'm going to deal with it. And why I'm bringing it up is the concepts of losing custody is only a piece of the puzzle we have worked with. Remember, this is happening 20 years after. You're going to have this aftermath forever.
Right.
So don't get overwhelmed. Like for me, it takes all my wits to put myself back today morning, wake up, like, say hi to my husband, forgive him, forgive my youngest one, and ask for forgiveness from him because I did accuse him. I said, Sasha, I'm so sorry. I said, I blamed you. But I don't think they have time for me. That's okay, mother. So he hung up on me. My eldest one, I have not even addressed what the issue is. And I said, Ricky, when do you want, he wants to come home for Thanksgiving? And I'm really scared now how I'm going to store all the information so that it doesn't have access to him. And I cannot trust my husband. I cannot trust anybody else in my family. And my middle one, it never ever thinks that I'm a straight shooter. His father is the straight shooter for him. So whatever I ask, even if there is a subtle reason, he wouldn't do it.
Do you think that the boys view you that way because of how your husband is?
My husband introduced me as the crazy one, and who doesn't speak English well, and who doesn't know our culture and doesn't understand. So they are told that they are not accountable for their behavior. All mom's fault. They have to close their door and not let me in. And when it's their door, I cannot go in and check. But at the same time, my husband will say, it's a shame on you that you don't even know whether kids are home or not. And my kids, they put a lock. My middle one has a lock on his door.
Yeah.
I cannot even go in. At night when I go, I don't know whether they are inside or not. And my husband, if I ask him, hey, the kids are in their room, he says, too bad. You need to have checked in with them. So he wouldn't tell me whether they are not there or not. He says, I'm sleeping. I don't want to talk to you till the morning. He will confirm.
Oh,
And my kids will turn off the phones, yeah, especially my middle one. And my youngest one, sometimes I force myself to go in, and he says I freak him out by coming in that way because I want to know whether they're home. I'm dealing with something very, very different.
yeah. I can see how you feel overwhelmed, but you just have to give it over to God and
No,
lead
I
you.
wrote a book. I'm not overwhelmed. What I'm saying is, yesterday I was overwhelmed, but that's what I'm dealing with for yesterday.
Oh,
So now for others, I have a strategy. Because my husband, I have a strategy. My youngest one, I have a strategy. My middle one, I have a strategy. Because now I have identified the problem. I did already tell him day before yesterday. I said, Chris, this is my situation. You need to either, before you go to bed, text me saying I'm home or something. And my youngest one also, so this is what I'm going to enforce next week. What I'm saying is, I have a strategy for everybody except for my eldest one. My husband, I have a strategy, but I have to work through him differently. Because initially I thought maybe I told him, okay, now because every month I need to pay him for household expenses. I said, now that it's in your bank, that can I cancel the payment to you for next 6 months so that he says, no, you cannot do that either. You have to keep the old system going, which means every month he gets extra check. Plus, I need to ask his permission to retrieve the money.
what? Oh my God! I would leave him. I wouldn't want to be with a man like that. I wouldn't.
No, but that's okay. Actually, I love mental challenges. So I think he gives me a structure so I understand, identify, because I love logistics. And so I need to figure out a way to manage my house better. So it is good. It's very, very good. But he can control my situation because I really wanted my planters to come in for winter. Last night was the frost. He gave me a rule until my area is cleared, I cannot bring it in. So today morning I wake up, I had to go to the garden, clean out all my stuff so I can bring the little space, whatever I gathered to there. So I was every day morning I wake up with a new challenge because of the weather, because of so my plants are going to dry, half I'm going to lose. My husband is on vacation. See, he maximizes his vacation on the day he's responsible. Like Monday, Tuesday is this day, Wednesday, Thursday, my day. Today is Thursday, so he's gone. But he controls what I put inside the home. So I told him, Keith, I need to bring the planter in. And he says, okay, ask the boys. I'm not going to be home until um, Sunday and let the boys do it. Only if he says, my boys will help. If he doesn't say, I will get there. I don't have the power to get them engaged with me unless it becomes an order from that.
See, for me, I'm like I maybe I'm the overbearing, controlling one because that's the way I am. Like I have to.
And I know the other side of addiction. That's why I'm saying it's not even addiction that's the problem. I know what I'm dealing with. But that's okay because he's coming from a different awareness. Now my eldest one, I have no idea how to deal with because he thinks I'm a wimp. I don't stand up to dad. And he feels it's okay. He says, oh, you're loaded with money. And he has no qualms about moving money anywhere. And he thinks it's funny. But that's okay too. Like, and I can get a sense of humor because I was exactly like that when I was a teenager. I was a rebel. So like it's like kind of a payback,
Well, yeah, that's true.
So I take it the right way, but once you do it with humor, it works. So for my eldest one, I need to figure out a way. I'm gonna tell him, like, if you're gonna play me like this, I'm not gonna come. So I'm gonna tell him if you're gonna text me or call me after I call to ask for stuff. So I'm gonna come up with rules. Yesterday, actually, I bought him Dr. Teal's eucalyptus spearmint body wash. She said, "Why did you give me a female body wash?" I said, "You're asking me. That's all I'm giving you." You know. So then he wanted pizza rolls, and I got him in addition hot pocket. He says, "Why did you give me this?" I said, "I get what I think you need for snacks. If you think what you need for snacks, you plan it with dad. Because dad gets the money every month. He gets a check to pay for this. This is an extra perk, right? Like
Right.
what I bought was in addition to the budget.
Right.
But I feel he doesn't need to know my finances.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
Kids, when they ask something, you don't say, no, no, no. This is my arrangement with dad. It's his check, not my check. I feel
Yeah.
that's not healthy. So I'm dealing with behaviors, finances, attitudes, controls, manipulation, but still be very respectful, very humble. So when I share my experience, Dr. Joe was saying last week, he says, "Oh, you're sharing too much of your family information." I said, "I don't need them as a patient then. I don't need them in my life. Seriously, I am here to support my family so I can make money.
Right.
But if they want me there to not be me, I don't need them in my
Right.
life." The reason I'm bringing it up is you are dealing with acute crisis. In crisis, survival is number one, but you're going to deal with this later. So I'm imparting what I'm walking because this might come to you.
Yes. Yes.
So people don't get it why I'm sharing. I'm sharing because don't be blindfolded. You're done.
I know. My the guy I'm seeing, his got two. My husband had two, a 16 and an 18-year-old, and the guy I'm talking to, he has an 18-year-old and a 16-year-old boys, and so it's a good learning experience for me to see what people, that I'm gonna go through, and he's been through what I went through with my kids. His wife lost custody of their children from drug addiction, and it took him 5 years to finally get one child back because they were in two different counties. But by the time, and he went to California to get them.
Wow.
Left everything. He wanted to be a cop and everything, and he left everything behind for his kids. And then finally, when his youngest turned 13, he came to live with them, and that's the one he has the most problems with. So, you know, I'm, I, it's great insight for me to see what he goes through, especially when you and your children have had time apart, and rebuilding that whole relationship. I think it will be a lot easier for me with my younger two, but my oldest, who I thought me and him had the most unbreakable relationship. I've realized that it's very broken, and it's very the opposite of what I thought, and that's okay because I broke the trust, so I have to rebuild that. And I know Nick is at that phase in his life that he's into girls. He's and also he's on the spectrum, and he's got PTSD, and so it's a little bit even more challenging than say it would be for my daughter or my other kids,
And
because
it's
he
their
has such
life
a
too.
challenge.
They have to live their life. It's like almost like everybody's growing their own life simultaneously. And to finish this, right? Yesterday I was in my meditation. I saw this poster which puts it in a nutshell what I'm trying to say. Remember, our broken inside we are pure light within, right?
Hmm.
Which I showed you the expansion sculpture, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So the light within creates this is a poster I came across yesterday, so appropriated. The light within, like your light is shining on your face,
Yeah.
light within creates beauty in this person. When there is beauty in a person, it creates harmony in their family. When it creates harmony in their family, it becomes order in the nation. When there is order in the nation, there is peace in the world. You think, oh my God, that is so beautiful.
No, that is beautiful. It is very beautiful.
I loved it.